Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I am here with a different video. I didn't want to do a makeup tutorial, so I wanted to do something that can really help you guys. So today I did a how-to tips and tricks on how to get a flawless base. I really went in-depth on how to get a flawless base with your foundation, when you should be applying your moisturizer, how to apply your concealer, how to blend with contour, bronzing, and blush, and highlight. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see a how-to tips and tricks on how to blend your eyeshadow, let me know down below. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe down below to my channel before you leave. Give this video a big thumbs up, and if you guys want to see my tips and tricks on how to get the flawless base, then just keep on watching. Bye guys! So the first thing I like to do when applying my makeup, and when I'm going to start off with my foundation, I like to, of course, you guys probably know this, is to cleanse, moisturize your skin. That is probably the #1 tip I can give you guys if you're looking to achieve a flawless base with your foundation, is to definitely make sure you wash it and moisturize it. Especially if you do have dry skin, you want to make sure you moisturize your skin before applying foundation. I do recommend still moisturizing, still cleaning it if you do have oily skin, because this will help make your foundation go on so much smoother. You will notice the difference if you have not been doing this. So I already, of course, went ahead, washed my face, I toned my face, and now I'm going to go ahead and moisturize it. So the moisturizer I like to use is the Belief the True Cream Aqua Bomb. I absolutely love this moisturizer because it's so hydrating on my skin. So I'm just going to take a little bit and apply that all over my entire face after you have cleansed it and washed it. You want to wait about 5 to 10 minutes before applying your foundation after you applied your moisturizer, because you want the moisturizer to sink into your skin and actually work really well when applying your foundation. And if you apply it right after you applied your moisturizer, the foundation will just slip right off. So that's why you want to wait 5 to 10 minutes after applying your moisturizer. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes and it's sunk into my skin really nicely. The next step I would normally do after this is go ahead and apply my foundation. But if you do have some redness areas or anything you want to cover up, I like to go in with a green color corrector. This is the Becca Black Light Targeting Color Corrector in the shade Pistachio. And it's just a nice green color. I like to use this for redness. Take any brush and take that green color corrector. So I have a little bit of redness on my cheeks. I just apply this in a stippling motion. You want to make sure not to rub it, because if you do rub it, it would just defeat the purpose of even putting it on, because it's going to glide right off your skin. So I like to just dab it anywhere that I have redness. And as you see, I did not put a lot. As you see, it covered up that redness so well. I love using this because I have really red skin. So if you have really red skin like me, definitely go ahead and pick up a green color corrector. Now that I've applied my green color corrector, as you see, my redness is completely gone. This is a great step, so you don't see your redness peeking through your foundation. This really helps get a nice, flawless coverage. Now for my foundation, I'm going to be taking my favorite. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Liquid Foundation. Mine is in the shade 117. I really love this foundation. It's a great foundation for anyone who's looking to have a really nice medium to full coverage where I still look a little bit natural. Now, there are so many ways to apply foundation. You could start off with a beauty blender. This is a knockoff beauty blender I got from Forever 21. You could also do it with a buffing brush. This is the Morphe M439 brush. I'm applying it with my beauty blender. So I'm going to start off by taking a little bit of the foundation. I'm just going to take 2 pumps of that on the back of my hand. Definitely make sure your hand is clean before doing this. What I like to do, sometimes people just dip right into the foundation with their sponge, but I can tell that definitely soaks up a lot of my foundation, and I just end up wasting it. So what I like to do is just take my finger and dab this everywhere onto my skin. This gives you a more fuller coverage as opposed to just dipping it right into the beauty blender. This also is the same with a brush. Do not dip your foundation right into the brush. You can definitely do whatever you want, but my tip is to apply it directly with your finger onto your face to get the most coverage. I'm going to go in with my beauty blender, and what you want to do, you definitely do not want to rub the beauty blender onto your skin, because what that is going to do is just, again, defeat the purpose of even putting the foundation on, because you're going to get the least amount of coverage, and most of your foundation is going to be wiped off, and you are going to get the marks of streakiness. So I want to make sure you use the bottom side of the beauty blender, which is the non-pointy side, and what I like to do is just take it. Make sure it is damp. You want to make sure your beauty blenders or any sponge you are using are damp while applying your foundation. I just put it under the sink and keep wringing it out until it gets bigger. So definitely make sure you do while you get the most coverage out of that, and definitely make sure any other leftover product you have on your face soaks up and you don't have a cakey face. So now I'm going to take the beauty blender on the non-pointy side, I'm going to make sure to dab it. I am dabbing really lightly onto my skin. You do not want to rub or swirl it. You want to dab. I like to spend the most time on my foundation because I feel like it really just makes your whole entire makeup. I feel like having a really good foundation and a really good flawless base just makes your makeup look so good. So I like to spend a lot of time doing my foundation and dabbing it out. Putting this over top the foundation, it gives it a nice base to start off with your lipstick. Once we have that nice flawless base, we're going to go in with concealer. We're also going to be highlighting. Now, concealer is something to use if you have dark circles under your eyes. It really covers that up right away. And I also like to highlight with this. Highlighting is a step that you do with a lighter concealer. I like to go 2 shades or a shade lighter than my actual face because this makes it look so much more awake. So I love doing this step. You see in all my videos, it definitely helps to make your foundation and your face look so flawless when doing this step. When I'm doing my concealer, and instead of using 2 concealer, using a darker shade to conceal the bags and using a lighter shade to highlight, I just use the same concealer to cover up my bags and also to highlight. You save money. It's so much easier to use one concealer. So that's why I like to take this. This right here is the Tart Shape Tape Concealer. I really have been loving this concealer for a nice full coverage, and it does look really natural and it feels really lightweight on the skin. I got mine in the shade Fair. Now what I like to do with this is I go ahead and put it in a triangle motion underneath my eyes. So I start off at kind of my corner of my eye. This is where my tear duct is. I make a straight line down past my nose. Another trick I like to do is go kind of against my nose. This makes your nose look a little bit slimmer. So it's a great trick if you think your nose is too big or if you want to change it a little bit. Take your concealer and just go right down the side of your nose, and it really helps make it nice and straight and skinny. Once I have made a line there, I like to go right underneath my eye. And then just take it at the end and go back up. So you have a triangle shape, and then I fill it in. I also like to make sure I go all the way here, just so it kind of blends nicely. And do the same thing with the other eye, down the bridge of the nose, underneath the eye, and connect, and then fill it in. We're going to be doing the same thing we did with the foundation, taking the pointy side and just dabbing out the concealer. Do not rub, because if you do rub, you will disturb the foundation underneath and you will move it around. So this is helping the foundation not move around, and also helping the concealer have a nice, flawless, and full coverage look. Another trick I like to do is take it on my eyelid. This helps so you don't have to use a primer later on for your eyeshadow, and it's such a good trick. I really love doing this. It takes one step out of your makeup routine. Once you're applied your concealer and highlights, as you see, if I just left it underneath my eyes, it would just look too stark white and it won't blend with my face. So that's why in my tutorials you do see me doing it on my chin, my cupid's bow, and the bridge of my nose, and in between my forehead, because this really helps even it all out, and it really helps make you look nice and awake and just make your face look a lot more symmetrical. So I take more of that concealer and just put that on them areas, the center of my face, to really highlight it and even it out. Because if I just have it underneath my eyes, once again, it will just look stark white there, and everywhere else will be a foundation color. So definitely make sure you do this step right here, because it really helps make your look so much flawless. Now, as you see, once I did that step, there was such a big difference when I put it down the middle of my face, because now you see it doesn't look so stark white under my eyes, because now everything is evened out. So it's definitely a trick that you want to do, and a tip that is really helpful when applying your concealer and highlight. Now you want to make sure you set anywhere you put that concealer so it does not crease. Creasing means that you will get these little lines underneath your eyes after you applied your concealer, and you do not want that. You want your concealer to look nice and smooth. So for my powder, I'm going to be taking the Rcma No Color Powder. This is a great powder. I believe it's only $10 online. I'll leave it down below for you guys. It's a great translucent powder. What translucent means is that you won't have any additional coverage or any color left over after using this powder, because it's completely translucent, so you won't see it at all. But it does really help set your concealer so it stays in place and does not crease throughout the day. I like to go in and make sure all the creases are out from underneath my eyes. So all you do is pat it underneath your eyes with a beauty blender. Then I like to take the same beauty blender. This is a great tool for your whole face. It really helps make it nice and flawless. I like using a damp beauty blender when I'm applying my powder under my eyes, because it really packs it in instead of making it lay right on the skin. So I take that beauty blender and take that powder right on top. I look up and I just pat this right underneath my eyes. This really helps so your concealer does not crease throughout the day. Everything is set on that eye. It feels nice and smooth. Everything is not sticky. It's set. So you want to make sure to do the same thing to the other eye and anywhere else you put that concealer. So down the bridge of your nose, your chin, your cupid's bow, and in between your eyebrows. Another great trick to help so your concealer does not crease is right when you're done patting it in, the last thing you want to do is go inwards. And this will help from not creasing. So again, just the last step is go inwards. Now we're going to be setting the rest of our face with the same powder. The reason I like to set the rest of my face, I only usually like to set wherever I put contour or blush. This really helps so when you put that on, it does not look patchy. Because if you do put any powders against a liquid, it will make the powder look really patchy and it won't blend right. So you want to make sure to take that same powder, any big brush, this is the Morphe E41 brush. I'm just taking that and applying it wherever I'm going to be putting my contour and blush and bronzer. Okay, so now that we look really white, you want to make sure you warm up your face, contour it, and make it look nice and alive and get that color back into your skin. So now we're going to be contouring. So for contouring, you can use any dark shade that is probably about 5 shades darker than your actual skin tone. I like to use right here, this is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Dark. So what you can do is go to any drugstore, any store, get a regular powder and get it in a darker shade. It's perfect to contour. It works so well. Now to contour, we're going to be chiseling out our cheekbones. That is making our cheekbones and our face look a lot slimmer than it actually is. So opposed to taking a brush like this, which is a big brush, where it's kind of going to get too much product on and not make your face look slim, you want to make sure you get a brush like this. It's a nice kind of tapered, tiny brush. As you see, it's really sunk in, so perfect to get in that cheekbone area. This right here is the MAC 283 brush. I'll leave all the brushes I use down below if you are interested. So you want to make sure you use a small brush. Any small brush will do. You could use a brush like this. You can even use a brush like this that has a point to it because it really helps get a nice natural contour. So I'm taking that powder and taking that brush, swirling it in. Really make sure you tap off the excess product so you don't get too much on your brush at once. So to find your cheekbone area, take your brush, start right at your cheekbone area, kind of where your nose is and your mouth, and slide it down and it will concave in. And that's where your cheekbone is, and that's where you want to start your look. So my cheekbone's right here. I'm taking my brush and just going back and forth. You can even go do a fish face, and you can find your cheekbone easily. To blend it, you want to make sure you do your contour blending in an upward motion. Because if you do it in a downward motion, that's going to defeat the purpose of contouring. Because we're trying to make our face look sunken in and really sucked back. So if you want it to look sucked back, you want to make sure you blend back. In circular motions, just blending back. I like to go sometimes a little bit above my cheekbone, just so it helps blend it. And as you see the difference, it just makes such a difference in your face. It just makes your face look have more dimension. It makes it look sunk in and skinnier. It looks so amazing. I really love doing this. I always like to put a little bit of this right here if you think your forehead, you think your head's too big. Putting the contour right at your temples makes that area sunken in. So wherever you want your face to look a lot slimmer is where you're going to be applying this color. And I also like to apply it on my forehead at the corners. Just go back and forth, and this really helps your forehead look a lot smaller if you think your forehead's too big. Now with bronzing, we're just going to be warming up our face. This is going to really add life back into your skin. So what I'm going to be using is the Physician's Formula Bronze Booster. This is in the shade Medium Dark. I want to make sure when you're bronzing your skin, you use a fluffy brush. This really helps get a nice overall warmth to the skin. So taking my brush and my bronzing powder, I'm just going to be rolling that right in there, tapping off the excess. And we're going to be warming up wherever we put that contour. So my cheekbone area, I like to do in circular motions, and a little bit above where we put that contour, in circular motions. My temples and my forehead. And as you see the difference from this side to this side, this one looks more bronzed as opposed to this side. It looks just light and simple. So you can do whatever you want. Going back with that powder and that same beauty blender, we're going to be carving out our contour and bronzer because it did get a little bit messy and I went a little bit too low. So if you want a little bit too low, just take that powder and just go right underneath that contour, and it cleans it right up. And bring it down. You can also leave it there a little bit if you would like, and that's baking. But if you want to see a whole thing on baking, just let me know and just wipe it away. And as you see, it looks so much sharper as opposed to this side. Now we're going to be adding color back into the skin. So we're going to be doing blush. So the blush I like to use is the Wet n Wild Color Iconic Blush. This one is in the shade Apricot. Now when I do blush, I like to take a brush like this. This is the Dose of Color Angled Contour Brush. This isn't technically a brush, but you can use any brush you like for blush. I like to take this because it has a little bit of a slant at the end, and it really helps get on the apples of that cheek. So I'm going to be taking that blush, tap off the excess. You can smile and do this, and I like to start at the apples of my cheeks, going back. When you go back, it really helps blend it. Instead of putting it right on the apples of the cheeks, going backwards really helps blend it together. I also like to take this, you see in every video, I even say it in every video, I like to take my blush, just apply it on my temples, and it evens the whole look out as applying just the color here. You apply it here to even it out with the rest of the face. Now we're going to be highlighting. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminator in the shade So Hollywood. It's a really gorgeous gold highlighter. I'm applying highlighter. I like to use a fan brush like this. So I take my fan brush, as opposed to going like this and dipping it right on the tip, I like to take it on the side and just dip it right on that side. I like to put this a little bit above my cheekbone, and I like to go back and forth with it, and then circular motions. I like to keep doing that for a while because it really deposits the color nicely. And as you see, I have a nice highlighted cheekbone. I also like to take this to even it out again. You want to make sure you even everything out. I like to put it right above my eyebrows and on my temples, because it evens everything out. So as you see the difference, I also like to put it in the middle of my forehead. If you are oily, you don't have to do this step at all. I like to take this and apply it on my Cupid's bow. You can use your finger. And I always love to apply it on the bridge of my nose. This makes your nose look a little bit more petite. Now that is it for the face. I'll be right back, and I'll talk to you guys finish my full face of makeup. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tips and tricks on how to get a flawless base. I hope you learned something from it. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me know down below as well if you guys want to see tips and tricks on how to get the flawless blended eyeshadow. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe down below before you leave. Give this video a big thumbs up. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.